Yo, yo, now it's the Red Blue Podcast crew. Reviewing flicks, both old and new. Red and blue, not political. Nah, man, chill. It was Marvel versus DC till we lost that thrill. Don't stress the episode, don't ask the season. We double up franchises, don't ask for a reason. Mochi's got rules that nobody gets. His takes on movies, they're wild as it gets. He's got Superbald Mac and Gray by his side. Trying to keep it sane while they're in for the ride. These measures are out of control, but in the end he's got the final role. Yeah, that Blue Podcast, come check the scene. Movies old and new, know what I mean?
And we are live talking about movies. How are you, Superbald?
I'm doing good, you?
I'm doing okay. What about you, Matt?
I'm fine, happy to be here to talk cinema with you guys, and and you, Multi, how are you doing?
Doing okay. And I am excited to talk about Kramer versus Kramer, a classic. And we will also talk, Superbald and I, about and Justice for All, because Matt only had time for Kramer versus Kramer. And I must say, I was a bit sad because Kramer versus Kramer was chosen by Alex, and a few weeks ago he was like, "Yes, I will come," and then something came up, and he told me, "Oh, finally I can't." It's a bit unfortunate, but hey, I'm glad you recommended such movie. I liked it. Let's get into Kramer versus Kramer. What did you think of that movie, Matt?
So it's the first time I see this movie. I never heard about this movie before. I know the two main actor, Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, two big actor, and two actor I like very much. I feel Dustin Hoffman is not anymore big in Hollywood. I don't know, he's alive again. I was just watching. He's alive. He's alive. Okay,
Doesn't
but
often know, yeah, he's alive.
He
but
must be
he,
old.
yeah, he's
Yeah, he's probably in his 80s.
yeah, he's in the 80s. Meryl Streep done a movie and TV show as today, but not. I feel not Dustin Hoffman. Unfortunately, he's a very great actor. So yeah, I was intrigued to see this movie. I do a little research around this movie, and I discovered this movie was big back then. He won so many awards and Golden Globe and Oscar. And back then it was a big deal for the two actors, for the director, and for the movie himself. So I was intrigued, and I see the movie, and I really love it. One that I love very much about this movie is how the story was made. The story is basic. You follow this couple fell apart, and the couple has a kid, and for 1 year and a half, the father take care of the kid because the mother leave to try to start a new life. And after that, the mother come back and want the kid back because she is the mother, and the two fight on the courts for the custody of the kid. And sure, you see more of stuff for the side of the father, but you understand the part of the mother, and the two actors played the part very perfectly. This movie is interesting because back then, it as today, there's not so many movie about the side of the father, and when he need to take care of a kid. Normally, when you see this kind of movie, you see the mother side. Single mother try to rebuild his life with this kid, and the father is not here to help. But this movie tried to something different, and I think that's why the movie is so good for that. You see the father side of that. And the side of the father has so difficulty to manage that with this work life and this family life. And in the end, he lost this job because that, but he's okay with that because he become a different person when he's with the kid. And I like that. I feel the Descendant has a strong character in it. You feel so many emotion when you follow him in the movie. And the same for Meryl Streep. She's not enough in the movie. I will say she is in the start and in the end in the movie, but she revealed so many emotion. You can feel the struggle, this pain, the difficulty she has to leave. That's why the two main actors won so many award for this role. I understand why it's a good movie for so many things, and I'm happy to see this movie. I feel this movie need to be seen as today for what he's talk about the purpose of this movie is talk about relationship, single father, and the right of custody for a kid, and so many other
Parenthood.
parenthood, exactly, so many things about basic life, because the couple who follow in this movie is a basic couple. Everyone can relate about this couple. The father works so too intense, and the mother don't want to be a mother. She has a career, and she want another life for that, and the two fell apart because that, and after that the father is single. He struggled so and so many stuff to be a good father and good in his job. I like the evolution of each character in this movie. Very strong story, strong um, uh, movie in itself. Like I said, you need to see the movie as today, because as today you have so many issues when you talk about separation and the single father, and the fight for the custody of the kid. I know some of my friends are single father, and they struggle to have her kid. One of my close friends see this kid two a week on a year, to Christmas and for this birthday. And for him, it's hard to live with that. He wants to see more of this kid, but he can, because the mother has the control of the custody. And I understand the mother is important for the development of the kid, but I feel the father need more place in that, and the movie talk about that, and I love that for that. Yeah, I really love this movie, and I know that issues for the movie. Maybe one thing I was surprised, you have a nudity sequence in this movie. I was surprised to see that, because it's not the kind of movie you see a naked woman. The scene not too long, but I was surprised to see that. It's not a long scene. I understand why this scene is there, but I was surprised that movie has that kind of scene. Other than that, I feel this movie need to be seen, and I'm happy the one choose this movie for the podcast, because now I see this movie, and I will suggest this movie for my friend and my family to see. I know my mother is a big fan of Meryl Streep, and I don't think she has seen this movie, so I will talk this movie with her. So yeah, I think I say all I want to see about this movie.
Thank,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing. Superbald, what did you think of Kramer, Mrs. Kramer?
I had never seen this. I had heard of it many times. I knew it by reputation, but I had never actually seen it. Um, yeah, despite the title, it has nothing to do with Seinfeld. Um,
okay.
yeah, no, it's because there's a character named Kramer in Seinfeld. um,
Okay. Okay.
um, this actually came out the same year as Injustice for All, and sometimes people confuse the two movies. Um, and people often confuse Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino. So I find that kind of funny. um, but I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I think it was very much of its time, especially this was not necessarily the beginning, but the this was very much in the I'd say the early years of the women's lib movement, and when it started becoming possible for women to leave, unhappy relationships where they weren't trapped. They could provide for themselves and support themselves. And of course, this brought up often the issues when people were getting divorced about custody. Um, so I think it's very poignant, and I still think it's a very relevant film given the subject matter. Um, One thing I find odd though is no point in the movie did anybody even suggest joint custody. So I'm guessing joint custody was not a thing back then. I don't
Mm,
know.
I think that's the best explanation.
yeah.
Hmm.
That was still brand new, so the system needed to change and adapt, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, and there's no this movie doesn't really make you take a side either way, either the father or the mother. You know, it presents both sides and both arguments. It doesn't clearly make one side the villain and one side the good person. You know, um, and Meryl Streep's character, she has it dealt with issues that I think at the time were not really discussed much. Not just regarding marriage and divorce, but mental health. Because uh, I think Meryl Streep's character at the beginning of the movie is clearly suffering from depression, and that's why she needed to, leave and go find herself. And they even say in the movie that she was seeing a psychiatrist. And she was dealing with issues of like self-doubt, self-worth. She felt she was a bad mother. Like that's what she said when she left. She's like, I'm no good for him. I don't have any patience. Blah blah blah. Um, and I also played into archetypes and social roles, the father having to provide for the family, and all that, and the father being the head of the household. And it kind of turned that up on its head. And also sort of toxic work culture, which is still a thing. Businesses expecting you to basically make your job your whole life and have it come before everything else. His boss is really on him to do that. um, I like the editing in this film. It's very simple and effective. It's good transitions. Um, I really like it. I like very efficient editing. I really like in this movie. It's the transitions from one scene to another are very good. And this is also a movie that is very good at show don't tell. It lets you draw your own conclusions, and there's a lot of visuals in this film about, like when he's packing up his wife's stuff, putting away the picture, closes the box on top of the picture. There's a lot of visual storytelling. Um, and as Matt was saying, this was like a massive hit when it came out. It was very moderately budgeted for the time, but it was a huge hit and was nominated for a bunch of awards. Um, Actually, Justin Henry, who played the kid Billy, was nominated for best supporting actor for an Oscar. I think he was only 8 years old at the time, and as far as I know, he still has the record for the youngest person ever nominated for an Oscar. Um,
Wow.
I don't think he won though, but he,
But I still, it was nominated. That's a start.
yeah, and the cast, Dustin Hoffman, I think he was at his best in this. He's a terrific actor. Meryl Streep, I think she gives a very subdued performance. She's not over the top or anything when she gets emotional, and she's a fine actress. I don't know if she was as big a star as she became later at this time. I don't know what exactly, how well known she was, but this is definitely something that if she was not, A-list, this is definitely something that probably put her on the map. Um,
For
she
sure.
actually, I think, actually auditioned for the role of the friend who lives in the building. Not the role of the mother, and she actually fought to audition for the role of the mother.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, George Coe played Dustin Hoffman's boss. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Archer. He did the voice of Woodhouse.
Oh yeah, I've
uh,
seen a few episodes. That's funny. I
yeah,
enjoyed what I've seen from that show.
yeah, he's sadly passed on. I think a year or two ago, but yeah, he did the voice of Woodhouse on Archer. Uh, he was never like a big A-list actor, but he was a good character actor who was in a lot of stuff. Um, I forget the name of the actress who played the friend who lived in the building. Um, yeah, she was great as well. She's not a very well-known actress, but yeah, I thought she was very good. The actors who played the lawyers as well. Um, I actually found the ending a bit surprising, um, where Meryl Streep's character agrees to actually let her son stay with the father. Um, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but I was just very surprised by that outcome. And again, I was found it weird that at no point did joint custody ever become an option. But again, maybe at the time that just wasn't a thing. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie.
Well, thank you for sharing. Do you want to add anything?
No, that's pretty much all I had to say.
Amazing. So I adore that movie. It was so fun and enjoyable, and I can also say the same for all and Justice for All. I We were very lucky because usually when it's older movie I struggle, but here it's just a good week. It's the kind of week we want more often, I think. It's two masterclass. There's no wonder they are classics for many people out there. Um, I have no issues with that movie. And I think the biggest highlight, the best thing about it is the new struggle the father has. And both characters, the father and the mother, they go through a character arc where the father needs to learn the struggle of the mother when she was taking care of the
Hmm.
kid. But that's even worse because he also has that big job that she didn't need to deal with. And on the other hand, we have the mother that's a very loving mother and that realizes in the end maybe she needs her maybe the kid needs her dad. And that was very, very interesting. Now, I might be wrong, but I think I've seen it floating around. This movie was based on a book.
Yeah.
I
Might be
think
wrong
so.
on
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh, so I'm right. That for once I'm right. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are so many things to enjoy. Um, Again, I think the mother changing her mind was very cool growth. The lawyer fighting dirty, creating regret in the main character for asking such thing was great. And the mother having regret was really sad and it made sense. And when I look into my note, I'm like, the music is really cool. I think they really chose well in that department. The acting was great, even from the kids. But again, we talk about the end of the 70s and almost the 80s. And I think back then, the kid actors were not the same. They were better. I think. I might be wrong. I might be
I
crazy.
think they
But
put more care and thought into casting them. Because
yeah,
unfortunately nowadays a lot of child actors are nepo babies. They're children of people who are already in the industry.
yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. I stand by it. I agree with that. I think the movie was really good at showing things. It was competent at showing the viewer, look, the dad struggles, and that was very interesting. Um, so the very weird meeting with the kid and the co-worker of the main character, that was funny.
Oh yeah, I didn't
I
even
liked
mention
it.
that. I love that scene.
It's like the kind of stuff I can relate to because like I experienced similar things. It's interesting touch there. Um, the dinner scene with the ex-wife about the custody was very fun, and the main character entire life collapsing when he loses his job, and now he struggles, and he is willing to take a worse job just to make sure he gets the custody was like kind of sad, but it was interesting. I think that was another highlight for that movie. It was very, very interesting to explore that aspect because, like, it's the 70s. The world is so different from now, and there's so much emphasis on jobs and such. Still today, there's emphasis. Like, we needed just to survive, but I mean, back then, men were known to be the providers, as what uh, Superbald said a bit earlier. And we had a few trial scenes, you see, and I think they worked very well. They were very, very good scenes, and I I think that movie for a court drama worked. I don't have a lot more to say, but again, I think it was very good, and how the kid and the dad both being really badly affected by the divorce was well shown. And again, I think that movie delivered. Uh, I don't have a lot more to say, so I will leave it at that. Any other things you'd like to mention, Superbald or Matt?
Actually, I just thought of something though. I'm kind of glad this movie didn't go with the typical Hollywood happy ending where uh, the parents they fall back in love and get back together kind of thing. I thought this was much more true to life, much more realistic.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
that something I love about this movie. The movie is
Mm.
so realistic. It's about simple people, basic people, and the story is not typical for Hollywood. So I love that for that. It's unique, and I understand why
Yeah,
this movie was so big back then. There was unique
I,
take.
I I think it struck a chord with a lot of people because they could relate to it.
Exactly.
And like again, you said they could relate to it. I agree. Like I'm not a divorcee, but I could relate to what the kid experienced. So
Well,
that's just
as a child, I could relate to it as a child of divorced parents. Mind you, I was much older when my parents divorced, but it's I could relate to that aspect of it.
it's interesting. So what would be your grade out of 10, Super Bowl?
For me, I think this is the first time I'm ever going to give a perfect score. It's a 10 for me.
Amazing.
I can't think of any real flaw with it.
What about you, Matt?
Well, at first, I don't think I will give a 10 of 10 for the movie. Sure, this movie I not have issue with this movie. This movie is perfect for what it is. But I guess for me it would be like a 9 of 10 for the movie. The movie is perfect for what it is. And you have not the movie had not issue, but I feel it's not a chef d'oeuvre, we'll say in French.
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece. Thank you.
Mm.
I forget the translation. It's not a masterpiece for me. For me, a 10 of 10 is masterpiece. It's movie is not that. It's close, but not that. So for me, it's like a 9 of 10 for that.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing my grade, Super Bowl.
Mm.
We are on the same page. I give it 10 to Kramer versus Kramer. I really liked it. I think on recent memories, it might be one of my favorite 70s ish movie. And it's funny because Injustice for All is very close. I think they're both very good. And yeah, that's really all I feel about that movie. And now, um, I will ask the panel. I forgot to mention that backstage, but it's not that bad. So, if we add a turn movie for the after show, are we good to cover a turn movie in 2 weeks?
Uh,
I
I
should be
will.
able to.
Okay,
I will try to.
okay, perfect. Well, I will post it on the chat right after the stream. So, what do you have going on your end of the internet, Matt?
The usual, I see stuff and I write about it, but in French, so not for your audience of the podcast. Other than that, nothing new. I see the Smash Machine recently on the theater, the new movie with Dwayne Johnson.
What
It
did you
is
think of it?
it was interesting. It's a good movie. It's not a phenomenal piece of art, but you can see that the Dwayne Johnson he give all he can do for a role, and you can see he have some talent he can use because the past few years he had done such a bad movie. He play himself in each movie he play in the recent year, and now he played this real. MMA champion, and he have done the job right for the role. And I like the movie. It's not perfect, but yeah. So other than that, nothing new for me. And I wish I'd be there to talk with you the other movie, but unfortunately I don't have time to see the other two. I want to see the Blues Brother for so many years. In the Malice for so many years. I will try to see this movie in few weeks and maybe in a few days. But I want to see the movie for so long time. And I hope you have fun to talk about the next movie. And I will let you that, and I will say you a good day, and see you soon.
Thank you
Uh,
very much. Again, I cannot wait to talk to you again next week. And have a great night and take care.
Hey, take care, guys.
So now we enter the realm of the next movie. The next movie is Injustice for All. What did you think of Injustice for All?
Um, this one I wasn't as familiar with as Kramer versus Kramer. I had heard the title before, and I've seen the scene of and parodies of the scene where Al Pacino's like, you know, you're out of order. The whole damn system's out of order. I had seen parodies of that, but I didn't know it was from this movie. Um, as I said, it came out the same year as Kramer versus Kramer, and sort of similar themes. They both take place in in a courtroom, but very different movies. Um, and this one, I'd say, is a lot grittier, a lot more raw than Kramer versus Kramer, just because of the subject matter.
It's
Um,
savage.
yeah, it is. It's rough and it's brutal. Um, but that's actually something I liked about it. It didn't sugarcoat anything. Um, Al Pacino, as always, is amazing. His intensity was just perfect for the role. Sometimes in some of his movies, especially the later career, that over the top intensity is distracting and not appropriate to the role. But in this movie, it was perfect. This is a guy who's obviously at his wits' end. He's someone who wants to do good, but he's fighting the system, and he feels helpless, and and he's surrounded by people that are, by hypocrites, and or I didn't take as many notes, unfortunately, for this one. I didn't have time, but and I honestly, I think I liked this one more than Kramer versus Kramer. They're both great films. Um, but this one, I think, just because of the subject matter and what it was trying to say, I liked it more.
That's interesting.
Uh,
I'm surprised. That's cool to know. Wow.
um, Supporting cast, and again, I didn't take too many notes, but good supporting cast. I do know that the judge that Al Pacino is defending was played by John Forsythe, who was a well-known character actor. He actually, around the time this movie was made, he never appeared on camera, but he would do the voice of Charlie in Charlie's Angels. Um, and I know this movie was directed by the late Norman Jewison, who was a Canadian actually, but had a long career in Hollywood. Um, and again, I forget the character's name. I didn't write it down, but Jeffrey Tambor. He plays the um, Al Pacino's friend, the other lawyer who has a mental breakdown because he defended a guy who he was able to get somebody off of murder, but then the guy went and killed somebody else, and the guy kind of lost his mind, and he shaved his head. That Jeffrey Tambor is an excellent actor. He's been working steadily for years. He's still working. I don't know if you ever watched the show Arrested Development. He was on that. I think younger people, that's mostly what they know him from. But he's a great actor. The actress, again, I didn't write down names, but the actress who played Al Pacino's love interest, great actress. The only thing I can say about this movie that I didn't like is the ending. I don't.
I thought it was the best part of it.
I
That's
liked.
surprising.
The thing is, I liked it and I didn't like it because, yeah, like okay, he's like, you know what? I've had enough. Screw this. Screw the system. I'm not defending this defending this immoral hypocrite. And he just, he throws his client under the bus. I loved it, but I'm not sure if that would have actually happened in real life. I don't know if in real life he would have, like, thrown away his whole career just to stick it to this guy. Maybe sometimes people, when they feel they have nothing left to lose, they're like, screw this, I'm going to do what's right. I don't know. It's eh, I as it is, it's a tough movie to watch sometimes. I mean, we don't see anything too graphic. It's more, it leaves it up to
Testimonies.
but it leaves it up to your imagination, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this was. I think this movie leaves me a lot more conflicted than Kramer versus Kramer, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think some movies should leave you unsettled and leave you asking questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, that being said, I think, as I said, I think I enjoyed it more, or at least maybe liked it more than Kramer versus Kramer. But that being said, I think this movie has a few more flaws than Kramer versus Kramer. So when we get to the part where we give the grade, I'm probably going to give it a lower grade. But yeah, I really wish, though, that I had time to, take down more notes and more articulate what I wanted to say, because it's I'd say a powerful movie. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot more to say. I'll probably think of something else while you're giving your review, and I'll add that later.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. I enjoyed that movie a lot, but I will agree with you. I think Kramer versus Kramer is slightly above.
Mhm.
And I don't have as much to say about Injustice for All. Even if I liked it from start to finish, I was quite entertained. I just think there's less to say. And sometimes you have movies like that. They are
Mhm.
good, but you just cannot find that many things to say because they're just good things, and you're like, yeah, I'm along for the trip, and that's a fun trip, but
Yeah.
that's it.
As I said
And
before, I think I'm better at articulating why I don't like a movie versus why I like it.
I feel you 100%. It's very easy to roast something, and it's
Mhm.
also very fun. Um, so let's get into my enjoyment. I have no issues with that movie, just like Kramer versus Kramer. So let's start by saying, funny how the lawyer was sent in jail early in the movie. That was entertaining. I thought the acting was really cool. The main character was entertaining. The court people talking about the main character was fun. The love interest were fun. Um, both friends talking at 2 a.m. was kind of cool. And again, the music, just like Kramer vs. Kramer, was enjoyable. Maybe not as good because I only see it once in my notes. Uh, Very effective and interesting in its way to explain how flawed the system was, and more very strong humor. I think the humor is something that really stands out with that
Yeah.
movie. And I will also say the nutcase breaking plates was fun. Um, the main character, again, that goes to the end of the movie. The main character sacrificing his career to put someone away. That was amazing. And that
Mhm.
goes back to Injustice for All. That's why they called that movie like that.
Yeah. I'm no lawyer, but I think in real life that would actually have been
Yeah, this
declared
part.
it actually would have been no, but the whole thing would have been declared a mistrial, and then the judge would have had to start a whole new trial. Probably what would have happened. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but
Yeah, but that you're right on that. And that's interesting. Um, I like how that movie ended, and Justice for All. And just like you, I don't have a lot more to say. That's a bit unfortunate. It was just a fun trip. I just think Kramer versus Kramer had more things to say, and that movie did a splash. And Justice for All, I did hear about it in the past. I've never seen it, so I was like, you know what? I heard about that movie, and it came out the same year as Kramer versus Kramer, and it's similar in some aspect
No,
because
I think this was actually a good pairing, though.
yeah, they are similar because the crux of the drama, a lot of it is in the court, and they both depict different flaws within the court system, and that's enjoyable. With that being said, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you'd like to add on Injustice for All?
Nothing that comes to mind. I'm probably going to think of a bunch of things later on tonight after we're done, but at the moment, no.
Amazing. Well, what would be your grade out of 10 for Injustice for All?
I'm going to give this a. I'm hesitating between 9 and 9.5. As I said, I think this movie does have a few flaws. I think I'm going to go with a 9.
Amazing. When it comes to me, I will give this movie a strong 10 out of 10, just like the other. But again, I think it's slightly below Kramer versus Kramer.
Mhm.
But they are in the same realm where I enjoyed them both. That was a very fun trip, and we need more movies like that nowadays. So I guess it's the outro. What do you have going on your end of the internet?
Nothing except the podcast.
Well, thank you very much for coming every week. That's always a
Yeah,
very
I try
fun
to.
time.
I couldn't make it last week, unfortunately, but I try to whenever I can.
But that's fine. At least you're here now, and we will talk about the Blues Brother right after this current segment there. But yeah, in my end of the internet, well, Thursday or Friday, I don't know quite when exactly, one of these 2 days, I will be speaking about Peacemaker, maybe with the Dragon. And Saturday, more Canadian politics. We talk about censorship and committee because they are very dangerous Canadian laws that threaten freedom of expression, and that's worrying. And if they come to pass, I will try to find another place to live because I don't want to live in that kind of environment. That's the teaser of what's going on right now. Next Monday, Tron, the trilogy, because we have Ares coming up Friday, and I've seen Legacy and the original in the 80s. Very enjoyable first 2 movie. I cannot wait to see Ares Friday. And yeah, next Tuesday, I know it's somewhere in our notes, but I actually forgot what we cover for next week. But next Tuesday, another Red Blue podcast. And with this, we are out.
Yeah, Red Blue Podcast. Come check the scene. Movies old and new. Know what I mean? The Red Blue Podcast. Come check the scene. Movies old and new. Know what I mean?